been an awful lot of things to be disappointed about in this particular transfer window, and it's coming to a close really, really quickly, which is why I'm rushing a video out now. I'll do another one tomorrow morning. We've got our transfer deadline day special. I loathe to call it a special, really. Perhaps nothing special is going to happen at all. That'll be tomorrow evening, Monday evening. But one of the most disappointing things that I've noticed in this particular window has been the potential sale of Emmanuel Longelo, whatever. I was going to say, it might not even be any use correcting me on the name there, because I don't think he's going to be around for that much longer. As I understand it, Nottingham Forest are interested, and we're going to sell. This is a tough one, really, because this has got a whiff of Conor Coventry about it, actually, because the thing is with Conor Coventry, if I'm being brutally honest, I really like him every time I've seen him play. Moyes doesn't think he's a Premier League player for West Ham. It's as simple as that. Conor Coventry doesn't have a future at West Ham. And it would appear, using that as a yardstick, that Longelo doesn't have a future at West Ham, which is going to come as a bit of a surprise to a few of us. But there are signs there. There are signs. Now, cast your mind back to when we played the final game in Europe. And I thought he played well. I thought he was a lot of people's man of the match, wasn't he? And I thought he had a really, really good game. However, when we did certainly our player ratings afterwards, I had a chat with Gio about it. I thought there were enough signs there to suggest he wouldn't play. And then if you remember, Cresswell was out, Masuaku was having an absolute stinker, and Johnson got a little. Johnson had to play at the right back, didn't he? Because Soufal was not available over there. So the natural thing would have been for Longelo to come in and play, but it just didn't happen. And actually, the clue was in David Moyes' assessment of that European game and before, and he very keen to point out that he feels Harrison Ashby is the one. Harrison Ashby is going to be the guy that makes it at West Ham. He's alluded to it a few times, and there's just some key messaging there. Never heard any such comments with Longelo. And when myself and Gio did the player ratings, I actually did say in the player ratings afterwards, and even in the review, I thought Elise impressed me more than Longelo. And I said he just looks more ready. He looks more like a man. He looks like he's ready for football, and I certainly agree with the Ashby looks like he's I don't know, he just has that look about him that he may well be closer to being the finished article. But it was those two that stood out for me, even though I did notice that Longelo played particularly well in that game. But I never got the feeling that Moyes felt that Longelo had a really good game, and in fact there was There was certainly a point during it, which was we won a foul, and Longelo won a foul, and we wanted to take a quick free kick, and Mark Noble was on the pitch, and Mark Noble started really instructing and bossing Longelo around, which is fine, you would expect that. And David Moyes on the touchline wasn't happy. It was almost like he'd stayed down for too long. Noble and Moyes were almost saying, okay, you've won the free kick now, up you get, let's get on an attack. And there was just a little exchange, which I did pick up on in one of the videos, which I just thought, okay, maybe a little bit of naivety then. But I thought, he's a young player. We need to give him some time to get into the team. But there's been opportunity, and here's my point, there's been opportunity for David Moyes to pick him. And David Moyes hasn't selected him at all. But he was more than happy to select Perkins on a couple of occasions. By the way, this video is sponsored by the OneFootball app. You can download the OneFootball app by using the link below. Literally under this screen is a little link, QR code up there. Scan the QR code or click the link below. Download the OneFootball app to your mobile device, your mobile phone. It's your one-stop shop for all things at West Ham. And I'll tell you what, with the transfer window coming up, it's going to be a really, really good place to follow it throughout the day, to follow all the transfer news before you link up myself and Gio later on in the evening, of course, which we certainly hope you will. There might be no transfers on there at all. It might be absolutely nothing. It might be tumbleweed. But I tell you what, if we're linked with anyone, then it will be on the OneFootball app. Best of all, it's free. Click it, download it below, and make sure when you sign up, you say that you're a West Ham fan, because it'll put all the West Ham news together for you. So David Moyes has shown that he's more than happy to use Perkins. He's also shown he's more than happy to use Harrison Ashby. But Longelo it's a no. And also want to cast your mind back to Ngakia. If Moyes thinks you're ready, he'll put you in. He did it with Ngakia, no problem at all. He was desperate to get Ngakia to sign that contract. In the end, Ngakia went to Watford, ran his contract down. I think we offered him 3 deals to get him to stay. He didn't want to stay, clearly. He was running that down. But David Moyes thought he was ready and he wanted to use him. There's been no such thing here with Longelo. No urgency to get him into the team. And even at a point where we had no left backs, he still didn't. Every option was better. Cresswell's out. Masuaku, playing really, really badly. Fredericks was injured at the same time as well. Everything seems a better option than playing Longelo there. Even playing Fredericks, who's right-footed sometimes at left back. Everything seems the better option to David Moyes. And it's really, really hard to make the case for it. Now, we may well get this wrong. And because this, I think it's really important that we structure the deal. Apparently, there's this big thing that West Ham are holding out to get £1 million from Nottingham Forest. I really hope we don't muck this deal up. Because the last thing you want is a situation where you've got... I'm not suggesting he's going to turn into Alphonso Davies or whatever his name is at Bayern Munich. But last thing you want is this deal to come back and bite you on the bum. What you need is to know that you're future-proof from it. So if you are going to sell him, and I think you have to, if he's never going to play under David Moyes, he has to go. He absolutely has to go, but it is disappointing. You've got to make sure you get a buyback clause and a sell-on clause. I even missed my finger. Crap, that's the sort of striker we need. Someone that when he tries to do that, does that. You've got to get the sell-on clause. You really have to. So actually, if what happens is Nottingham Forest buy him for £1 million, and then he turns out to be one of the better players in the Championship, and they do like a situation where you got Matty Cash, who went to Aston Villa for £15 million, then we have to make sure we're seeing sort of 20% of that. And I think that's the only way you can do it, a 20% sell-on clause or something like that, just to future-proof us, and first refusal to buy back. This stuff is really, really important, and it's something we've traditionally at West Ham done really badly. Really bad at doing this, so we've got to get this right. We've got to future-proof ourselves. Ultimately, it is disappointing, particularly as I think by and large, I think most people made him man of the match when he played in Europe, and it's tough for the kid as well because he would have felt that he'd played really well in that game and probably felt that he was in with the shout of getting into the first team. But unfortunately, as we've seen with Connor Coventry, who I thought played really well in pre-season, I mean really well, it doesn't matter if David Moyes doesn't think you're going to make it, you're not going to make it, and it's time. It's time to look elsewhere. Time to find pastures new. But there were a lot of people saying the other day when I did the video about where we're going to find 10 players for next season. Longelo was in a lot of people's comments. People saying we haven't got to buy 10 players, Gonzo. There's some free transfers available, and let's not forget, we could use Longelo from the academy. A lot of people were saying it. Doesn't look like it. And when you look at somebody like Ben Johnson, I know Ben Johnson's older, but he's come through the academy. He really only established himself as a proper first teamer this season and can play left and right. Longelo's a million miles away in David Moyes' mind.